Hey everybody, it's Joe here, and you know what day it is. Dude, what day is it?
Wednesday!
Look how excited she is. My special guest audience over there. It is Wednesday, and that means it's time for... All right, what's up, GaFUMCk? This is the weekly installment of everything you need to know that's going on here at Godfrey First, and some stuff you really don't need to know, if I'm being honest. And I know what you're thinking at home. That guy's on our staff? Yeah, he is. Speaking of, I have to thank SPRC, Tim and Mike and Marsha and the rest of the SPRC and Pastor Jay and other staff and members of the congregation for officially making me the music director here at Godfrey First. And I know some of you are thinking, I thought you were already in that role, Joe. Well, kind of right. I have been the bell choir and choir director here for several years. And a year ago, Pastor Jay asked if I would fill in on an interim basis as the praise team leader, since I was in the praise team and sing with them every week. And of course I agreed, and the pandemic hit and everything went, bah! So I've spent the year working with music on an interim basis, and SPRC made it official January 1st of 2021 that I am the official music director here now, in charge of praise team, choir, and bell choir. So thank everyone that made it possible, especially those of you that participated in the music programs here. Of course, I can't, and nobody that's been involved in the music program here in the past can do this ministry without your participation. So I can't wait for us to get back together as a full choir and bell choir, and praise team of course has been singing, but looking forward to getting back to normal and putting cantatas together and Sunday singing and all that kind of fun stuff. So that's that. The first announcement I want to get to this week is again about the Polar Plunge. The youth are participating in the Polar Plunge on February 27th at noon here at Godfrey First. Just as a reminder, the state Polar Plunge event people canceled all of their lake events for the year because of the pandemic, but they gave us a challenge to plunge at home, or in our case, plunge at church. We are going to put inflatable pools out in the field and fill them with ice cold water and take our plunge like we normally would in the lake. So we have 10 people registered so far to do that. 8 magnificent youth, one of your leaders, and this year we have our other leader, my lovely wife Susan, is going to take the plunge for the first time. She is gone. Dude, how excited are you about that?
So excited.
So excited. Susan normally opts out and takes the chicken coop. She stands in the chicken coop portion of the beach at Carlisle Lake and takes pictures, which is great. But this year, in addition to taking pictures still, because we have to have those, she is going to take the plunge. So we're excited about that. If you are a youth and you want to plunge, you've got to register ASAP. The deadline for our team is this Sunday, the 14th, because on Monday we're going to order our team t-shirts. So I need to know who's going to be on the team. If you are a pledger, if you would like to make a donation to a member of the Polar Plunge team, you can go on the link. The link will be in another part of this Facebook page. You can find it. I'll put the link in the feed, and you can go on there and go to, it opens to our team page, and you click on rosters, and then you can go down to any youth and pledge a certain amount online to that youth, make a donation. If you want to send in money to the church, you can absolutely do that as well. We've received quite a few donations already. You can write a check out to Godfrey First, but put in the memo line Polar Plunge, or you can send cash, whatever you do, put it in an envelope and send it to the church and make it to my attention so I get it, and I will apply it to one of the youth accounts so they will get it. All of the money that we raise, again, goes to the Special Olympics of Southern Illinois. And another question, just in case, just FYI for you, there are Polar Plunge events going on in Maryville that are live at beaches in different parts of St. Louis. We've chosen to still do this route because the money that we raise will go to Southern Illinois Special Olympics. And our own Matt Rothy and Sammy Newberry have participated in these Olympic Games here in Southern Illinois. So we want to make sure that our money goes to that portion of the organization. So that's why we're doing this one instead of somewhere else. So that's that. The other announcement I want to make is for Ignite. We are going to have a season this year. We start on March 7th with an information meeting at 5 o'clock for all prospective and past members. We're going to talk about some of our plans for the summer. Of course, it's going to be different. It's not going to look like it has in the past, but we are going to plan on doing a couple of outdoor concerts, a full program, professional recording sometime during the summer. We are still planning on going to Branson and doing a couple outdoor things there. So we will have a full season this summer. It's going to be fun and exciting, and can't wait to do it. I'm also excited about this season because we have our first ever senior class. Dude and Riley and Katie are our 4 seniors this year. Dude, Riley, and Riley have been in the group since they were in 6th grade, and they've gone all the way up through, and now they are seniors and spending their last summer with us. And so we've decided, with their help, we've picked out a best of, and we've picked out some of our favorite songs from the first 6 seasons, and we're going to perform some of those this summer. So that's going to be fun and exciting, dude. And I'm looking forward to putting a program together, and hope to see you out at one of our performances. So that's Ignite. Okay, so the post-quarantine church. This week talks about the facilities again and your worship center. Remember a couple weeks ago they talked about if our church, the purpose was if we wanted to be in the community or for the community. And then is our church inviting? Is our building inviting? And this chapter talks a little bit more about that. Do we make our facility accessible to people on the outside? Or do we have kind of a country club, a pseudo-spiritual country club mentality about our building? That these are our preferences, this is how we want it, and we don't want anybody to come in and mess it up. There are some churches in the country that are like that. They've made it so difficult for anybody else to use their building that they're not growing at all. They're just a little tight-knit group, and they get to use their rooms and their meeting places and all that, but that's it. Nobody else can. Or they've got a book that's this thick of rules and regulations on how to use it. Other churches that have flourished in their neighborhoods and in their communities, have opened their doors and invited people to come in. Neighborhood meetings, committee meetings, band rehearsals, any sports groups that want to come in and have any kind of get together. We don't have a gym here, but other buildings do, other churches do. But it is inviting. Have we built a figurative moat around our facility to keep people out? Or do we have it inviting? So that's the physical space about that. And you're going to get the survey. Barb's going to talk about this in a minute when we go in and mess with her. The survey is going out this week. It's been checked and rechecked and revised and all kinds of stuff. I said that twice. So it should be going out tomorrow, as a matter of fact. So Barb will give us an update on that. But part of it is talking about facilities. And I want to touch on a few things about the importance of the facilities. A lot of people, a lot of churches, because of the pandemic, people are eager to get back into the building. And that's been their primary focus, that they got to get back in the building. And one pastor even talked about how he's a big advocate for church attendance. And he doesn't apologize for saying, I'm going to church, or I have to go to church. And then he realized that probably his perspective should change, where he should say, instead of I'm going to church, I'm going to gather with the church. Do you see the difference? We've been saying for a year now almost that the church is not the building. The church is the people. We are the church, not this place. But the church is important. But during the pandemic, leaders and members learned that they could remain effective without the building. But they also began to miss the facilities that they weren't allowed to enter. Buildings were not required, but buildings could be useful and desirable tools for ministry. They were not absolutely required for ministry to occur, but they are nonetheless God's gifts of resources that could be used for His glory. The key is to see the church building from the perspective of the community rather than the church members. So the church is the building is important, but it can't be our focus. Okay? Let me get to the other page because it says it much better than I can say it. That's not it. Okay, so here it is. At one time, churches measured their success by the size of their buildings and the amount of facilities that they could offer. And they even say, if you go to churches' websites and look through their history, that over the past 50 years, most of their historical markers are about the buildings. They've renovated, or they've added on, or they've moved, and they've all been building related. And they measured their success by their building and not just the size of their congregation. Now, you can argue that they had to improve those things because their congregation was growing, but those markers weren't listed in the historical pages. They just talk about the building part of it. So that's where, again, perspective, your focus should change on that. But then the tide shifted at some point. The population became more secular. We've seen that, right, in our communities. And church members were attending less often for whatever reasons. Those who once attended 4 times a month were now showing up only twice a month. Gen X, Millennials, Gen Z preferred non-conventional worship gatherings. And larger churches had to adjust to fit that trend. We've talked about it. It's not new. Soccer games, cheer competitions, right, dude? Cheer competitions, vacations, just want to sleep in. Rather be online than in person some days, right? It's raining, so I'm not going to go. Whatever reason is, attendance is just dwindling. That has nothing to do with what's offered at the church, has nothing to do with the pastor or the programs. They've chosen not to go as often. And the churches haven't really responded as well as they could or should have. I started watching a show earlier this week called Undercover Billionaire. It's only finding Glenn Stearns, who's from Stearns Capital Group, billionaire guy, right? He has a project where he goes to Erie, Pennsylvania, has $100 in his pocket and a used pickup truck, and he has 90 days to grow a business, to create and grow a business into $1 million business. He's trying to prove that the American dream is still alive, right? So it's a fascinating show so far. But one of the first things he talks about in setting up a business is find your buyers first. Find out what they want. Now, he could go in and say, oh, I get this great idea. I'm going to plant this business in Erie, Pennsylvania, and just expect people to come. That's what has happened with some of these churches. I'm going to put these churches in here and just expect people to come without asking what the community needs. So he's gone around and talked to the different businesses about what business is needed. What do you guys want to see here? That's the first mark of success. You got to fill a need. So that's where some churches have failed. They have the, if you build it, they will come mentality, when you have to first ask what they need. That's what part of this survey is for too. What do you need? What do you think our communities need? And how can we get there together? So there's a couple changes that they suggest in this book, and we're going to get moving here in a second. Some changes that we are going to have to see at some point, whether we want to admit it or not. We're going to have to grow with the times, and technology is one of them. And making changes is going to be another. I don't know what those changes are going to look like. Your surveys are going to drive that. But there's going to have to be some changes made if we want to keep up. More churches decided they could have worship services at times other than Sunday morning. What? Other than Sunday morning? They finally began to respond to the demographic reality that as many as 1/3 of working adults have to work on Sunday mornings. That used to not be the case. Sunday mornings used to be reserved for worship, and it's not anymore. It's not a sacred time in our world anymore. Second, online services that either began or were augmented during the quarantine are not going away, and we as a church are going to have to wrestle the challenges of both and instead of either or. We are not going to be online or in person. We're going to have to be both. Dude, I have a word for you. Do you know what let me find it here. Oh, I should have prepped. Okay. A number of leaders realized that the usual way of conducting worship services was for a bygone era. 2 or 3 hours on a Sunday morning worked well in an agrarian society, but those days are long behind us now. Do you know what agrarian means?
No.
She doesn't. Liz, she doesn't know it. You know what? I didn't know what it meant either. I had to look it up. Agricultural society is what it meant. At one time, Sunday mornings were reserved because farmers could come in on Sunday mornings, right? But that's not the world we live in anymore. The point is, we're going to have to get prepared for changes because we don't fit in this box anymore. And we've talked about that many times. The box is gone. So when the survey comes, again, pray over it, look over it, answer honestly, and answer truthfully. Come to one of the meetings. Come to one of the Zoom meetings or in-person meetings if you have any questions. As a reminder, those meetings are not to debate any of the topics. That's not what any of that is for. It's to help clarify what we're looking for. It's to help clarify the question, all right? So we're not going to come debate whether or not we need a new portico outside. We're going to debate on whether or not, or we're going to not going to debate at all. We're going to answer why we ask the question. Okay, so look for that. So, dude, you got anything else you want to add?
Nope.
Nope, she doesn't. I'm going to put my mask on real quick, and I am going to, mask. We're going to go see Barb and Pastor Jay. All right. I know it's fascinating watching me walk through the hallway. Look, everybody, there is Barb working hard.
I am. I'm working.
And Barb, tell everybody what you're doing.
I'm stuffing envelopes. That is the survey that's going out to everyone. It will be mailed tomorrow.
I told you.
And it should get to you hopefully by the weekend.
All right, and Barb, tell everybody what's in the envelope. When they open it up, what are they going to see?
You will see a cover letter with on our letterhead, 2 sides giving you kind of a detail on what's going on there. And then after you get the letter, there are some dates here for, what do we call them?
The listening post
The listening
meetings,
post. There's
either
some
in
dates
person
and
or
times
Zoom.
in there. If you would like to come and discuss what's in this survey, you are more than welcome and encouraged to come and discuss. And then we have the actual survey that is in there.
And it's only like 1 or 2 pages, right?
Yeah, right. And then
6 pages.
you will get a self-addressed stamped envelope in there. You may send it back in the envelope, or if you go to one of the listening posts, you can bring it with you there. So that's what I'm doing. And it's a job.
And what are
It's a
you
lot of
listening
folding.
to?
I'm sending it to...
What are you listening to?
What am I listening to? A Christmas cantata from a couple years ago.
Adore, the one that Claire did a couple years ago. I heard it.
It's snowing, you know.
It's
Kind of
nice,
appropriate.
nice snowy post-Christmas. So look, Barb is hard at work.
I am.
Man, guys, I can't tell you how much work has gone into that survey, and it's very cool that, as I told you, we've done many revisions and rewrites and spell checks and all that, but putting it all in envelopes and stuff and all that, man, that's a lot of work. Thank you, Barb, for doing that. And look, everybody.
Hey, everybody. Good to see you all today.
There's Pastor Jay. So, you want me to remind you, talk about Ash Wednesday.
Be here for Ash Wednesday. It's Wednesday the 17th. It'll be from 6 to 8 in the morning. That way you can get your ashes before you go to work. And then we'll be here at the office between 11 and 1 if you want to come in during lunchtime. And we'll have a little liturgy thing to go through, and then you'll get some ashes. So I'm really excited about that. Joe, have you reminded them when we're tentatively going to be back to church yet?
No, I have not. I have not.
Don't forget that we're tentatively going to be coming back to church on February 24th.
First.
Dang it! I can't add in my head. So February 21st, and there'll be 2 services with an in-between like we've been having. So I'm excited. I hope to see you all there that are comfortable coming. So we're just really excited to be doing this again. Right, Joe? You ready for it?
And reminder, it's still online.
It's still online as well. Don't worry about that. It'll be there. So you can come in. And I think how we're going to do it is we're going to try to do at least the second service streamed live, and we'll have the first service available on YouTube at a later time. So at least starting like that. But for sure, second service at 10:45 will be streamed live. Make sense, Joe?
Yeah, we probably should have talked about that before just putting him on the spot there.
Did you see me? Yeah, I can handle it.
We haven't really talked about how we're going to do it, but it will, one or both will still be available online.
I will guarantee second service will be streamed. That I can guarantee.
All
So
right.
that'll be live, Facebook Live, and then it'll also be loaded to YouTube later. So it's going to be done live on Facebook, and then it'll be done on YouTube as a recording later. So
Perfect.
so
Any
we're
mention
gonna
of the survey or anything?
do it. The survey's awesome.
Parting words?
Joe, have we put any work into it?
A little bit.
Just a little bit.
A little bit.
Just a little bit. So if you guys have any questions, that's the biggest thing, is some of this stuff might be like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And some of this might be, why is Pastor Jay and the staff so worried about it? Give us a call. If you have any concerns, questions, or anything, that's what we're here for. So I'm excited. I'm most excited to see the vision, the very first page after the cover letter, for where you all are seeing the future of Godfrey First in evangelism and discipleship. But there's plenty of other stuff to get excited about on there. So I'm really excited, and I hope you all take part in it.
Very cool. Thank you, Pastor Jay.
Thank you, Joe.
So an extended version here. We're at about 23 minutes. I hope you all stuck with us this long. But there's a lot. Did you hear Pastor Jay? Hope you all stuck with us. There's a lot of important things going on, and there's a lot of important things coming up here at Godfrey First and our future as a fellowship and ministry family. So hope to see everybody at the Polar Plunge. Hope to see those that come out to worship on February 21st in person if you're comfortable. Hope to see you online if you prefer that method. Look, it's snowing outside. Squirrel. Guys, you got to be part of the family. You got to be part of the family of faith that we have here at Godfrey First. Whether you're online, you're praying about it, you're in person, you're typing on Facebook, whatever, just be engaged. We need you. We need you to be. So keep us in your prayers. God bless you, Godfrey First. We will see you soon.